What a beautiful charge!
Whoa,
This is
what
fine. Oh my god, it's
Oh!
what a save!
Okay.
Hello, everyone. We're back again. We've got more action coming for you. A couple more matches left tonight. And right now, we've got a match from the Spirit Caverns group. It's Sigma versus SmashyLe. My name is Vol'jin. I'm here with Aiko once again. But actually, which pronunciation do you prefer?
Honestly, either is fine. I started using it in text, and like by the time like people started talking to me in voice chat, I was like, you know what? Let's go with it. Either works.
Well, we're pretty excited for this matchup. This is going to be the deciding matchup for first versus second place in this group. As you see, both runners at 2-0 right now. Sigma with the advantage in terms of best time, but that won't really matter because one of them is going to win, the other one's going to lose, and the winner is going to be first place. So, Aiko, tell us a little bit about this matchup.
All right, I'll start with SmashyLe. SmashyLe's been playing started learning around October 2015, but wasn't able to run herself until she got a computer able to run Ori about a year later. She's got a pretty good best time in this race. 2-0 in her group. Plays on keyboard and mouse, like a lot of the players in the tournament. And she's going for 6 health, which is really nice to see. SmashyLe also worked on the TAS, which is some very cool stuff to watch. If you ever want to see some absolutely ridiculous and sometimes uncomfortable things, check out the Ori and the Blind Forest TAS runs.
That's a good word to use for it. And yeah, I'd forgotten about the tasking aspect, but another great point for SmashyLe is she's been one of 2 big turnaround stories that I can just think of off the top of my head. Richard being the other one, both of whom went 0-3 and then lost that immediately in the bracket stage last year. This year, they've both managed to win a substantial number of their matches. They're tops in their groups. Today, however, SmashyLe's got her work cut out for her against Sigma. Anybody who's kind of intimately aware of this game knows who Sigma is. He is an incredibly skilled runner. He has done a lot of routing work. He has made tutorials for this game that people use to learn it. He is, very well known, and right now his PB is about 3 minutes better than SmashyLe's. So SmashyLe's got her work cut out for her. And what Sigma will be going for here today is really just he wants to get a 29. That is his goal. You see his PB there. He's very close. But that's pretty much what he wants. And of course, if he gets that, he's almost certainly beating SmashyLe, unless she pulls out something absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a double 29 race here would be pretty unreal, honestly. Even a single 29. A 29 is incredibly hard to get. Even that flat 30 is just incredibly impressive. But Sigma, not satisfied with that, is always going to be driving that number ever lower.
That's right. And we are heading into the action in just a few moments, as the runners will get started. There it is. We'll get going on this race. Now, again, with that 3-minute PB difference, this is a little bit different than if you saw a player with a 40 racing a player with a 43. These 3 minutes are very substantial. SmashyLe is going to be a huge underdog here, but she's going to give it her best. And if, Sigma makes a few mistakes here and there, and SmashyLe could conceivably even PB, it is potential that there could be an upset, but we'll see. SmashyLe's got her work cut out for her.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what we've seen in this race is that against these top runners, it can just be really hard not to lose just small bits of time because their movement is just so optimized and they make so few mistakes.
Yeah, that's for sure. And of course, at the start here, neither runner really making any mistakes. This is a pretty straightforward segment to have well optimized. Both runners getting to the Spirit Flame skill pickup at the 54-second mark, so they're both having a good time here. That's not too difficult. Most runners usually get this down pretty quick. And now we're going to plink away at some Frankies. We'll see if there's any difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this part requires, to get this right, you just have to be shooting basically on cooldown. If you pace your shots perfectly, like we're seeing both these runners do, which is easier with the scroll wheel, admittedly, you can just get those Frankies down in 2 volleys each, or 1 volley each. And just make your way through. If you miss one of those shots, errors there can compound, but neither runner's doing that, and we're seeing a bit of a thing called SmashyLe taking a bit of a tiny time loss as she bumps her head on that little rock.
Yeah, but Sigma taking the little turn back there while SmashyLe doesn't quite. So they're pretty much even here. Not too surprising. Again, wall jump is a segment where there tends to be optimization even for lower ranked runners sooner than others. Sigma taking a little bit of, as always, intentional damage. SmashyLe doing the same. They're setting up for their Ghost Door. Sigma, I believe right now is going to be on 2 HP. SmashyLe double checks. She's on 2. Sigma double checks. And you're going to see them both make their way and take an intentional damage boost on this guy. Sigma getting a little bit trolled by that. SmashyLe too. It's kind of awkward, but they both make it through. No death until their Ghost Door, and that one's intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to take the death there because it unloads the door for just a little bit of time, gets us through faster. And then Sigma and SmashyLe both are going to be making their way up to this 4th health cell, refilling the otherwise very low health that they would have had going into this next elbow section, where the movement's very precise, and sometimes you want to take a bit of a damage boost to get through faster. They're going to be making their way down in Spirit Caverns to wall jump, which will be our first movement-related skill in the game.
Yep. And as they're going, you know, a quick note on the 4th HP, it's always interesting to point out that Sigma is a runner with a 30. You know, he's in the top 15 in the world, and he's still taking that 4th health cell. The total time difference of taking it versus taking a different one later on is 3.5 seconds. So it's really not that much time loss. And you may see that a couple other places in Sigma's run as we go along. He's thrown away a few small time saves to just get a little more consistency. And a clean damage boost on the way down, and he was able to make it through. SmashyLe taking the XP from the flower, and just has a little bit of trouble dropping through there, but she will also make it through, taking the level up on the way down. Sigma will get it on the way out.
Yeah, and minor differences in the EXP route there are mostly just a runner preference thing. But yeah, now we see Sigma picking up the first skill, proper wall jump, and he's immediately going to use it to jump up the wall to the left and grab our first energy cell pickup. This will double his energy, put him up from 1 to 2. This will let him save more often, and also unlock a very powerful sequence break we'll be getting to after he makes his way through Blackroot Burrows.
I really like that you brought up save more often, because right now he's pretty much not going to be using that energy for that purpose. Quick note about Sigma, he takes that level up on the way out, and that's actually a very carefully routed part of his XP route. SmashyLe cleanly navigating her way up this shaft as well. But Sigma is looking to get his XP to a specific amount because he'll be doing that slime genocide route you've seen a couple times today. So he needs a very specific count of XP by the time he gets into Blackroot Burrows. And so he's taking care to make sure that he gets that. So you see right here, he kills that slime and takes his XP. That is another calculated part of that route.
Yeah, absolutely. The slime genocide route is really interesting. It saves you a little bit of time and also gives you something to do while you're waiting for cycles in Blackroot. It's pretty cool, but if you mess it up, I've heard it can be pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not very fun if you mess it up. Recovering it is kind of annoying. Fortunately, Sigma is very consistent at it. We'll see if he has any problems right here. Looks like his XP count's 13. I believe that's approximately where he wants it to be. He wants to take the level up on the second slime that he kills in here. He also, of course, takes the ability Magnet to do this cutscene skip here, as he's going to really want that. SmashyLe also taking Magnet, so her XP is such that she wants to collect the XP from as many spawns as possible as well, but it'll probably be 3 for her rather than the many for Sigma.
Yeah, all right, we see Sigma killing 3 slimes, gets that level up off the second one, like you mentioned, and now he's going to make his way over and pick up the orb. Fooligan, what can you tell me about this orb thing?
It's dumb and we hate it and we want to leave it behind. But oh no, SmashyLe taking the death in the spike pit as Sigma was just going back over. So that's going to cost her about 20 seconds. She's going to have to make her way back from the entrance. But this orb allows you to interact with these light walls and platforms. So Sigma missed some XP from that slime. That might be important for him as well. He might need to kill another one to make it up. SmashyLe making her way safely across this time. But yeah, this orb allows you to interact with these light platforms, and you see there, as you shed the light on them, they actually become solid, and SmashyLe taking another death, but this time she had the safety save. Aiko, I wonder if this is a little bit of like early game nerves from her, possibly?
Yeah, absolutely. And that platform, because of the way it bounces up and down, if you jump off it too early, at least when I jump off it too early, I definitely sometimes end up taking a little face plant there. So I can definitely understand that. Now she's making her way up this very tricky jump, which is one of the things that you get to skip when you're doing Slime Genocide to pick up this EXP and get you close to that level up.
That's right. She throws down a save just to make sure that her progress is locked in. It's a really good note for newer runners to just always keep in mind. Anytime you get past a section that's pretty challenging, throw down a save, lock in that progress, make sure that you can't get sent back any further than that. Sigma making his way up to this switch, so he'll be able to pull that switch, lever, whatever. Especially getting a good cycle on those platforms, so making up a little bit of the potential time loss she could have been experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we'll see Sigma doing another one of those save anywhere glitches to skip a cutscene where we remove the darkness and Black Burrow stops being so spooky. And with the cutscene, we'll actually get to see this nice little synchronized explosion, which is definitely always fun to see.
I had never seen that before until someone brought that up earlier. I'm watching it now, like I'm looking for that synchronized.
Yeah, there it is. It goes whoosh and then whoosh back up, and now Sigma has dash, which lets us go very fast, makes Ori make that noise that you'll hear a lot of in the rest of the speedrun.
He is killing one more slime there, so it looked like his XP count was slightly low, but he makes it up. SmashyLe's working on her darkness cutscene skip momentarily. You can keep your eyes on the left side of the screen. Sigma will be going for Frankie Walk. Of course, you've seen a lot of this in the tournament, kiting this Frankie all the way across the countryside here, making sure that he gets in specific positions so that you can kill him, take a level up, put energy in the door, put more energy in the door after you get a refill from the level up. You get the idea.
Yeah, and then we've got the appropriately named Death Gauntlet, where things are very scary and you want to not die.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've actually experimented heavily with dying in Death Gauntlet, and I can tell you it actually usually isn't a time save.
Yeah, I would say that's been consistent with my experience as well. So Sigma is in here, and he is attempting that not dying strat. He gets a bonus health pickup from that slime, so that's pretty nice because I think he was in the water a little bit longer than normal. Doesn't quite get the death glide, so he opts to just shoot these brambles there. That death glide is a glide under like a stalactite there that just blocks away, and he got blocked, so just taking a little bit safer, and he will probably drop a safety save down here as he's about to enter Gumar's hideout.
Yep, there we see that save, and although he did not get the death glide, he didn't get the death glide death, which is far more costly of a way to mess that up, so that's good to see at least. And on the right, we'll see Smashy going for it, and ooh, Sigma gets that nice. Crushy cycle, which can be very hard to get, takes some very precise movement. If you fail that, you're just sort of sitting there as staring mournfully at the crushers. There's not really anything you can do at that time. And Smashy gets the, she saves and reloads after. Oh no. Yeah, it looked like she had that, but
Oh no, yeah, she missed one energy into the door. I'm actually not sure how she missed that, as it looked like the level up timing was okay, but that means she has to go back and redo the Frankie walk. That's a really unfortunate time loss. It's around a minute of just doing all this crap, so that is kind of crappy for her. Meanwhile, Sigma is making his way back from double jump tree. He did some blind movement there. Didn't quite make it all the way over. That's a little bit awkward and easy to make a mistake on, but fortunately it doesn't cost that much time or anything.
Yeah, absolutely not. And now that he's gotten double jump, he'll be making his way up and out of the Moon Grotto, at least the lower part. He's going to be grabbing an energy here real quick and then be doing something we like to call grotto skip, where you do some very precise jumps and ignore the mysterious unknown left half of the Gumo's hideout. And we'll see he gets it first try. Very good.
Yeah, Sigma's on great pace right now. Smashy into the Death Gauntlet, gets under the Frankie. That is sometimes less scary than it looks, as long as you're practiced at it, you know what the Frankie's going to do usually, so you're okay. But it's still pretty terrifying. She does make it through, drops a safety save, so she has her progress locked in now, once again, into Gumo's hideout.
Yeah, and Sigma now is going to be making his way out of Gumo's hideout. We just missed the high five opportunity, unfortunately, but Sigma is going to be picking up the water vein, which will let him get into the Ginsu tree. Ooh, and Smashy does get that grotto cycle that we talked about earlier, saving her that 8-second time loss. So that's very good. Nice to see that even though she had some trouble with Death Gauntlet, she's still nailing those harder tricks.
Yeah, Smashy's improvement as a player has been incredibly impressive just in the past couple months. She has gotten... she's gone from, I think her PB was over 40 last year, and just in the course of, it's really been a couple months since she's been able to seriously focus on the game, and in that time, she's gone all the way down to 33.05, so very impressive stuff by her, and she keeps showing us, what she's capable of, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting a time down to even a 33 is just honestly an incredible feat. The game just gets, as we were talking about earlier, it is so much harder to shave those even small amounts of time off as you start getting into the low 30s. And as Sigma is showing, it's even harder to be one of those people who can break that mythical 30 barrier.
That is for sure. Sigma and I both having trouble with that recently, but Sigma in particular very close. He's collected that ability cell from above the tree there, requiring some slightly precise movement. Now he's going to make his break his way, that is, into this Thornfelt teleporter. SmashyLe going for her grotto skip and a very clean first try. Not just first try, but she did that very, very quickly. So that looked excellent from her. Sigma gonna skip this cutscene outside the Ginso tree. Smashy skipping one at the bottom of this rock fall. So both working on their cutscene skips right now. Against Sigma ahead just a bit at the Ginso door. Ugh.
Yeah, and he's entering into at 12:25, which is excellent to see. And now that we're in the Ginsu tree, which is a very vertical dungeon, you do a lot of jumping up, back and forth through these teleporters to just try and climb this area. It's also the location of one of Ori's most well-known skills, but we'll be getting to that in a bit. First, he's got to get through this room with all these teleporters and these little Metroid look-like enemies. And then he's going to have to fight a little boss, do some jumping puzzles before he can pick up that skill.
That's right. And we got the update from our truck boys that Sigma is 10 seconds behind his PB, which is definitely within striking distance for him to be able to get that 29 he's looking for. It would be needless to say, it would be incredibly impressive if he pulled off a 29 in a tournament race. Not just for the the fact of the time itself and the fact that it's in a no reset situation, but also the only player to achieve a 29 so far in this tournament has been Uncle Ronnie, who's one of the top 3 players in the world. Even Wilson and Elo haven't pulled that off yet, the number 1 and 2 players.
Yeah, I think getting a 29 in a race is something that is incredibly rare, and I'm not sure we should expect to see it today, but at the same time, I'm definitely rooting for Sigma here. See if he can get that, because that would definitely be an incredible thing to see.
Yeah, his consistency lately has been absolutely incredible. And speaking of consistency, SmashyLe, since the problems on the Frankie Walk, SmashyLe's been making her way very consistently, just up towards the Ginso tree, and she's not really making any major mistakes after that point. So hopefully the early game shenanigans have gotten behind her. Obviously, the early game, it's very easy to take a death because the margin's there, whereas a little bit later on, you get a bit more safety, and you can use some of those energy for saves, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and also I think it's just a matter of like what tools you have. Like Sigma's about to pick up Bash, for example, which is a major turning point in the run because it turns projectiles and enemies, as I said in my earlier commentary, into a resource instead of something that'll just kill you. And we're about to see Sigma pick that up, and he'll be immediately making heavy use of it to make his way up the rest of the Ginsu tree.
Yep, and SmashyLe having just entered, so it's about a 2-minute deficit, which is largely explained by the Frankie Walk death, and the Blackroot Burrows death. So unfortunately, that's going to be a very tough mountain for her to climb. I'm finding many different ways to say that she has a hard road ahead of her, which obviously is a little bit repetitive. Sigma setting up for his Keystone duplication. He's going for this top platform save that overall saves about 2 seconds. And having a scary moment there with that Keystone.
Well, no, it's intentional because you want to take damage here. All right, and he gets the drop in first try. It's very tricky. You got to land on the spikes all the way to the right. Otherwise, you don't get to put them in, and you feel sad. I think we've seen that once or twice, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Thanks, Psycho. Oh man, alright, so we're coming to this mini-boss, SmashyLe on a different mini-boss. You've seen these guys a lot. They're both pretty inconsequential, but the first one is just longer. All you gotta do is plink away at it with your little 2 damage shots. It takes, 40 of them total, so can be pretty long. But SmashyLe's making good work of it, and she gets through. That looked like a 5 cycle, I believe, and we got the confirmation that it was. Sigma's on his way to Stomp right now on still very, very good pace.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're going to be seeing why we aren't doing the rest of the Ginsu tree for people who have not watched this run for about half a year. We, in fact, have decided that saving the world and removing the poison waters is, in fact, too slow, so we're not going to bother. Instead, we'll be Sigma not opting to do the blind movement here because it only saves about a second. It can be very spooky. But essentially, we just sort of brute force our way into Swamp with some well-positioned bashes and a rather reluctant helper in this frog.
Yeah, we're seeing Sigma set that up right now. You just need to make sure you don't dunk this frog into the water. The spikes are totally fine for whatever reason. He's immune to those, but the water is absolutely death because it's still poison, except even if it wasn't poison, it would still kill the frog, but Sigma makes his way in with very good execution of those double bashes. It's a frame-perfect trick that you've seen from a lot of our KBM runners where you release the bash for 1 frame and then repress it. So good job by Sigma getting into Swamp. He is still on incredible pace, while SmashyLe is about to start her key dupe. She goes for the lower platform setup here, which is a fair bit easier.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot safer. You don't have to murder that little purple shootly thing on your way up. Definitely a lot safer. And now we see her doing the key dupe. Ooh, and it looks like those keys weren't in, so she's going to have to go for that again. That is an unfortunate time loss. Meanwhile, Sigma's picked up Stomp, and now he's going to be making his way left for a while, actually. We're going to be going left for, a good minute and a half.
It's kind of weird to go left in a platformer. Kappa.
Yeah.
All right, SmashyLe getting her key dupe on the second attempt. She had the first one, she just had the problem where she tried to set it up by quickly jumping into the depth spot, but unfortunately just inched slightly too far left. It's very easy to do that. You saw me do it in the race just now, so yeah, not a good time, but fortunately she's able to recover, get her key dupe. Now she gets her ghost door with a hyper speed into the mini boss. Sigma getting the very precise bashes to get that frog quickly on top of that thing, and then bash off of him to collect an ability cell. And now we're coming into more precise bashing for the Kuro cutscene skip momentarily.
Yeah, so for this skip, what you got to do is get a frog in a specific shot and then bash its shot just the right way. And he gets it. When you get Kuro's cutscene skip, there's nothing there but a vast feeling of satisfaction in your hearts, because you don't have to watch a bird come and look at you angrily for about like 12 seconds. You're just terrified because why is this bird hurting me? I didn't even set up the water. Why is it so mad? I just don't understand, Voligen. Help me.
I don't understand either, but fortunately we don't have to ponder these questions because there's no bird today, at least for Sigma. And he's making his way over to Charge Flame now. But yeah, that trick in particular, it saves around 17 seconds of that cutscene, and if you don't get it, you've immediately lost. Like, you can retry, but you've immediately lost the vast majority of the potential time save. And SmashyLe is now beginning her swamp entry as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what version of the swamp entry SmashyLe goes for, depending on how comfortable people are with double bashes versus other kinds of manipulation. You can see a lot of minor variations, but it's all basically the same thing. We need to get this frog over this water, into this spiky area, and then have it break both those platforms.
And she does have this frog on a good spot there. The shot
Ooh, double.
phased through the ground because sometimes the collision detection is a little bit awkward. She's having a little trouble getting this shot to be in a position where she can actually grab it, and the frog is wandering away. What a guy. Sigma's heading into Valley of the Wind right now. He's making some inroads there, but SmashyLe is getting the double bashes, and
she gets it.
She's in.
All right, yeah, that is very good. And now we'll see her going to pick up Stomp. Well, on the left, Sigma is going to be coming up on his fast Stompless attempt, which is a very tight but also very cool trick where our runners will save some time by firing off a shot into the distance, getting out of the way before it would hit a rock. And then with that rock not being there, we'll see it hit a trigger point, and if all goes well, Sigma will pick up an ability cell and then be warped to Feather. And he gets it first try. Very good.
Yeah, his shot was perfect. He also got to do that section, as you saw, with Charge Dash, which is part of his XP route as well. He collected an extra level up earlier, so he's even able to skip an ability cell in that section. He just didn't need to collect it, and he still has Charge Dash and is able to make his way into Sorrow, where we're gonna see the Sorrow Bash entry skip, which is always a very impressive sequence to watch, and he will be getting started on that momentarily.
Absolutely. So he's going to be dropping down, grabbing a frog to rocket jump up off of, getting some birds in place, and we'll see him go for Sorrow Bash. This trick, there are a lot of variants. I'm not familiar with the specific setup. All right, so he's getting double bashing the bird, gets it into the elbow, ooh, and takes a death.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a very costly death. Given his goals, that's like a 20-second loss, so that's a really rough one. He had a little trouble double bashing on his first attempt here. SmashyLe on her Kuro cutscene skip meanwhile gets it, as Sigma doing more precise bashes as well, and he manages to make it into Sorrow Pass. And now he's not out of the woods because every spike here will kill him. He's only got 4 health, and there's a lot of spikes. They're all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. Now he's entering the inverted hedgehog intestine room where there are just spikes everywhere. But he gets through, it looks like, with no problems.
That was a very nice job. None of the cilia within the intestines here managing to perform the active digestion on him, so he's able to make it safely in the charge jump tree, and he'll be acquiring that momentarily. He's got the save anywhere up, of course, for the Terra break coming up. SmashyLe picking up Charge Flame. She's still making very good pace, especially given the Frankie walk problems earlier, so hopefully the rest of the run will be clean for her and she won't have any further problems.
Yeah, definitely. And now we see Sigma behind that save anywhere, making his way back through that intestine. And he's going to break up some artery blockage there so he can make his way up to the Fun Stone.
Echo. All right. Well, there's our quote of Echo laugh for the race, but Sigma is approaching the Sunstone, the Fun Stone, as it were. He will be collecting that momentarily. Another cutscene skip here saves 70 seconds. SmashyLe, meanwhile, is in the Valley of the Wind, and she will be making her way, which is a phrase that I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to stop. I go, please help me stop saying making her way. Got to figure out something different to say.
Approaching. She's proceeding up through the Valley of the Wind.
Traversing.
Ascending. Yeah, ascending even as she's going upward now.
We will see some fast stompless from her momentarily as well after she picks up this cell, which Sigma was able to skip.
Yeah, definitely. Sigma now making his way down through the Sorrow Pass. Almost no feather usage as he gets that meteor kick and enters Misty Woods, but now check over to the right where we see SmashyLe setting up her fast stompless. That shot looks good to me. We'll see how she goes, see if she can get to the cell before it hits.
Oh, it does not hit, unfortunately. The shot aim must have been off. So she'll have to go either retry it, or we'll see if she just opts to suck up the time loss. She is going to retry. Sigma is dealing with Misty very rapidly. That is a low shot. She recognizes it, immediately goes to retry again. That one looks a lot better. Now this time she's already got the cell. Go ahead, Echo.
I was saying, I hope she gets that. Ooh, and it looks like that was not a hit. I was actually going to ask, if you've already picked up the cell, is it faster to take the shot, or is it just faster to proceed left?
Oh no, Sigma taking a death right at the end of Misty, this segment that is, right before getting climbed. That is a huge time loss, unfortunately. It's not enough for SmashyLe to catch up, but it is a very big time loss. Definitely gonna put an end to his best race time hopes for this race. So he'll just have to, go for the best time that he can get here. But very unfortunate time loss for him. And SmashyLe now just opting to stomp the rocks, giving up on fast stompless, which certainly is a reasonable choice after you've had trouble with it like that.
Yeah, I think fast stompless isn't a trick like Sour Bash that's like a major sequence break. It's great to get it. It feels great when you get it. It can be frustrating when you don't. But at the end of the day, if you just opt not to do it, you're losing maybe like 30, 40 seconds. And now she's going to have to get psyched up and get her way up, because Sorrow Bash is not an optional trick, and it can be very difficult indeed. She's opting to grab this frog over here from the right for the rocket jump all the way up. And now we can watch and see how she does. Hopefully, yeah, she'll be taking a safety save here, which I definitely approve of.
Yeah, that comes with the territory of doing the stomp full route here. You have the opportunity to make this safety save. Grabbing her bird slightly low, so she corrects it with just another double bash. Again, these are pretty common from KBM runners. They have the ability to do this pretty easily, and she gets up very cleanly, making... I was about to say it again.
making short work of Sorrow Bash.
There you go, yeah. And more rocket jump. She's luring that projectile from that frog. That is the purpose of that rocket jump. And she's going to throw down a safety save here. Another great choice. Make sure that you don't go all the way back to before Sorrow Bash. Well, Sigma is really, really navigating his way through Misty very quickly.
Yeah, he's not letting that costly death get to him. He's still going as fast as he can, making his way through that second half of Misty. And at least you get that automatic save when you pick up the climb tree. So now if he takes the death, it will not be as costly.
Yeah, this is certainly not a section you want to take a death in, of course. As SmashyLe picking up charge jump, she opts not to carry the save anywhere all the way through all this. She instead has the option to just go back, save on that same log in the middle, and use that to set it up. We'll see which one she goes with. Yeah, she didn't even ghost door, so her save is still there, and she'll just use it to set up save anywhere. Sigma, having a brief little issue with the bang zoom quick kill that he was going for, but he manages to get the second mini boss pretty quickly, so not a big time loss or anything.
Yeah, definitely not. And we did see some pretty cool strategies from him in the second half of Misty, including the swag rocket jump up through the meatball shaft, which is always very cool and also terrifying to watch. But yeah, he'll be making his way. Oh, sorry.
No, I was also probably going to find a way to say the words "making his way."
Departing the Misty Woods and now returning to the Blackroot Burrows in the sort of revenge run where you're back and you've got all these movement abilities and it's not scary anymore.
That's right. He's back and better than ever with capabilities that you can hardly even imagine. SmashyLe rocking the Sunstone cutscene skip and will be heading down to Misty Woods. Sigma taking his intentional death there. That's to set up the force the door open glitch over there. It's hard to see, but he doesn't have the save anywhere up at least, so you can see it as he went by. And getting the good laser cycle here, jumping his way up to this cutscene skip here, and we will not have to find out anything about Naru's father and his old-fashioned ways.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to skip that cutscene because it is a little sad and also just very long. But no, Sigma's skipping that. He's going to pick up his last ability, Light Burst or Grenade. And he's going to be using that. We'll see how often, but at least once in this run. And he's going to be making his way to the final escape.
Yeah, I believe Sigma mostly does not bother for grenade jumps outside of that final one, so we shouldn't be seeing too many from him unless he's suddenly gotten, a bit swag. He did say there was, some swag that he might incorporate if he were not on PB pace, and he unfortunately is clearly not on PB pace. So we'll see what he opts to bring to the table here. He is jumping over the Raziel No boulder and fortunately making it safely, while SmashyLe is almost all the way to the climb tree now.
Yeah, she's taking her time, being a little bit safe here, and definitely not trying to avoid the same kind of costly death that Sigma got earlier. Now she's going to be able to make her way with no further obstructions to that climb tree.
Sigma is almost at Horu himself. He will just bypass this health cell here. That, of course, is part of Sigma's route. He only takes 5 HP, whether it be in races or PB attempts. Whole bunch of charge dashes here across the way, but yeah, we're not seeing grenade jump here or anything like that. He's just going to dash up to the door, put the fun stone in. We'll correct it to the incorrect thing, and he'll go into Horu and do some door warp.
Yeah, so you got any predictions on this door warp attempt? I'm gonna go with first try.
Of course, first try. Oh, SmashyLe taking a death on the way out of climb here, and that's gonna send her back to the tree. Hopefully. Oh, hey, look, first try door warp by Sigma.
Nice.
SmashyLe will be redoing this section of Misty. Takes a bunch of damage there. He's trying to get these platforms to manipulate the right way, and there it is. So, 2 HP right now, not 1 HP, 2 HP. So probably drop the safety save,
Please,
SmashyLe?
Smashy, I believe.
Alright, well, we'll follow the left side for the final escape by Sigma, and oh hey, here's some swag. He's using a grenade bash to grenade jump over here. I believe he told us that that saves a grand total of 1 second if done optimally, and that was not very optimal, and neither is taking a death there.
Yeah, definitely not. It's actually really interesting because this is the first time I've seen in a run of all skills someone using grenade bash, which is usually relegated to rando where you see a good use of it. But yeah, now Sigma doing that same swag trick again, and this time getting through the elemental room without taking any fire damage, so he has the health to get through this poison water here.
we're doing the swim, and he's got good fish position, so he's able to make it through. Just as one more trick to perform, that being the final grenade jump. Needs a specific position on the wall, needs to charge up a wall charge jump at the max angle, throw a grenade, throw a jump the frame afterwards, and get that skip, which skips half of the final cutscene. So Sigma's done. GG to him. He will be able to finish up. Looks like it'll be around a no. SmashyLe taking a death on her side, but fortunately saved right at that keystone door, so it did not matter at all. It was about a 5-second loss. But yeah, Sigma looks like he'll wrap up with around a 32.
Very respectable time. GG to him. That'll be good. Wonder if we'll get any optimizations here at the end. Probably not, but you never know.
That's right. Sigma's all business. Unfortunately, not able to get the 29 he was looking to get, but that's really difficult to do in a race setting, in a tournament. So no shame whatsoever in having a couple mistakes sent you back to the 31.52, which he did achieve, and that is still a very good time overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Very impressive from him, and that is going to leave him with the 3-0 in his group, which is definitely a very good way to leave group stage, especially with that 31.52. I believe that is his best race time.
No, actually, because Sigma pulled off a 30.21 in his first race, so unfortunately not able to surpass that in his preceding races, in his following races, that is. But SmashyLe is still on her way to the end here, and she is getting the grenade skill right now, so she'll be able to finish up in the near future. Unfortunately for both runners, the story of the race kind of being a couple costly deaths that obviously they both won't be very happy about. Even despite taking the victory, Sigma will probably be fairly disappointed in how this went, but hopefully at least he can take away, he went 3-0 in his group, which was obviously a goal, and moving into the bracket stage, I'm sure we'll see more 29 attempts from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, honestly, you can be really happy with this run, give or take the Misty Death, which, I mean, is a big deal, but it's also just only one mistake, right?
Yeah, exactly. So SmashyLe collecting the health cell here and taking the teleporter back to Thornfelt Swamp. And Mount Horror is the next destination. She just needs to, I believe she's collecting one more health cell to get up to 6, or is she going to stick with 5? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I've definitely seen runners deviate from this a bit from what they put down in the tournament sign up, because, it's been almost a month and people get better, they change, they get more confident. But no, we'll see SmashyLe end up going to the 6 health cell, which I do really like. It gives you a lot more peace of mind as you're approaching those fish. And the swimming section, you can make a mistake and still come out of that alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 4 seconds to get that still, so not a very big deal at all. And navigating the big lava pit there without too much fear. Going for the grenade jump. Ah, she bonked the rock there, but otherwise that was a solid grenade jump. And very nearly dipping into the lava too. Holy crud.
Well, you see, she just had cold feet, wanted to warm them up before getting into the door warp. Definitely understandable.
Gonna hope for a first try door warp out of SmashyLe as well. We'll see what she's able to pull out as she exits the game, having gotten an autosave in front of that door, presses up on the first frame, and teleports to the bottom of the dungeon. First try. As for why pressing up on the first frame when you load back into the game works, I'm sure there's at least one wizard in our community who understands exactly how that works, but it's not me, unfortunately.
Sometimes when stuff's loading, yeah, exactly. And that's why it works.
Profit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, final escape for SmashyLe.
Yeah, let's hope we see some nice clean movement, hopefully not taking any damage, clean swimming, and then end it out with a nice grenade jump.
So far, everything's been very smooth. Dashing through that section before and navigating the lava pillar very effectively. Dash gliding her way into this area, stomping into the water for a little bit of a boost, and then getting the bashes off the fish. Only 4 damage, would have only needed 5 health, but the 6th gives her that peace of mind. She could actually take 1 hit from one of these rocks at the top here, but she does not. And now lining up the grenade jump, and first try, no soft lock. GG.
very good. Honestly, an incredibly solid performance from both runners, barring a few major mistakes or like a few single costly deaths. But I think they both can be proud of what they brought to the table today.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope that we're not gonna, we'll bring in our runners for an interview shortly, and I hope that we're not gonna hear too much, kind of disappointment out of them. Obviously, SmashyLe taking the loss and also having those, kind of costly deaths that she certainly would not have wanted to have. But overall, her performance in this tournament has been absolutely phenomenal. Her improvement since last year is just incredible. And it's really awesome to see that. I'm very excited to see what she'll do in the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And she'll be finishing out her group with the 2-1. Still very respectable. Definitely still going to be good seeding for the bracket stage.
Yeah, plus a very good best tournament time of her PB, 33:05. So that is going to give her a pretty advantageous positioning in the bracket once we get that seeding going. And we can talk about that more, of course, in the future. There's still one more match in this particular group, which will determine the 3rd and 4th place finishers in the group. But for now, Sigma has taken the victory with a 31-52. SmashyLe coming in 2nd place with a 36-35. We will find out if SmashyLe would like to join us, but for now, we are joined by Sigma, the victor here today. Sigma, welcome in, and obviously knowing that your goal was to get a 29, just tell us, are you like really disappointed, or are you just kind of zen about this outcome?
Well, there's one good thing that this race revealed to me, and it's that it's time to get a new mouse.
Oh no, what happened?
So when I died in Misty, my mouse wheel stuck in and blocked my dash input, so I couldn't see dash, and that's why I fell into that stupid pit again.
Oh no!
So I'm done with
God.
this mouse, dude. It's over. It served me well. It's time.
Might I recommend the literally cheating mouse?
It's pretty good. I did pick it up recently.
I could use an edge, you know?
Literally cheating, of course, referring to the Logitech G502 mouse with the unlockable scroll wheel. Well, I guess, aside from the death, your run was incredibly clean. Were there any parts of it, aside from there, were there any parts of it where you were particularly happy with your play and how things went?
Well, I got Grotto Cycle. That was pretty sweet.
That was in fact pretty sweet.
And what else? What else went well?
I mean, for a while you were still tracking behind your PB by like 5 seconds. It can't be that bad. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. The feather split was actually really good, except somehow I managed to dash glide in the wrong direction at the spirit well. I was only, I think, a second behind my goal on that, so apparently that needs to get a bit better. But I don't know how I did that. How do you face the wrong direction and dash glide there? You're moving completely left.
It's a mystery, man. I
had that exact thing happen in my warm-up earlier today, believe it or not. Before my race, I managed to do that dash. You're on the top left, on the top edge of the thing, and then you dash glide. It just sends you to the right for no reason.
Yeah, that must be the weird, you're teetering on the edge or something forces you right. I don't know.
All right. Well, Sigma, you went 3-0, so you will take the top seed in this group. You had a best race time in your first race of a 30-21, which is incredible and actually still second overall compared to everyone in the tournament. Going into the bracket stage, you're going to have a very advantageous position. Even if Wilson or Ella manage to rattle off some 29s or whatever, you're still going to have a very high seed. How are you going to approach the bracket? I've actually just a couple times. Are you still just I'm going for 29, I'm going for 29 until I get it, or is there going to be any change to that?
Well, I don't want to phrase this in a disrespectful light at all to my group, because they're all very good players in their own right, but I didn't look at any of these group matches as races against my opponents. I just looked at them as races against the clock to get the best possible seed in group. And that mentality is changing in brackets, because it doesn't matter if you win with a 35 or a 29 in bracket. It only matters that you win. So I am not going to be like only watching my screen. I'm going to be looking at my opponent, and I'll probably, do easier things and more safety saves in bracket if I'm ahead. So things like that very long Misty Death, if I'm, a couple minutes ahead by then, I'll just make like 3 saves in that section because it makes me win anyways. Then that's the way to play.
Yeah, definitely. I think that makes a lot of sense. Once you get into the bracket stage, approaching it more as a race and adapting definitely seems like the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be very excited to see how your play goes in the bracket stage. Obviously, you're going to be in that top half of the bracket. You're going to have better, you're going to have the lower ranked opponents as a privilege of having seeded pretty highly. And we'll see how that plays out. I'll throw one more question to you before we wrap up. That is, there's one match left in your group. You've had the privilege, of course, of playing all 3 of your, your group mates so far. And the last match remaining is Sarah Baron versus Cleanfell. Both very skilled players. I want you to tell me which of them you think will win that match and take 3rd place in the group.
That's a really hard call. I'm going to go 55-45 odds for Sarah Baron. But I really think that one could go either way.
Man. All right, we're getting word from the truck that Sarah Baron has more of an S sound. And so that means that he'll win, apparently.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, Sigma, Soul, Sarah Baron. That sounds just win.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today. Sigma, thank you for joining us. We actually have an update to the schedule. We will unfortunately not be having a match at 5 p.m. Eastern coming up now. That has been that's going to need to be rescheduled. So we'll find out when that match is going to be. But we will still be having one match just a little bit later on today. That will be at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that is going to. I'm just kidding. This was the last one. Or isn't it? I know how to count.
Same.
So tomorrow, all right then. Yeah, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, it'll be Uncle Ronnie going for his, I believe, I don't need to believe, I have like data here, his 3rd match of the group stage. And he will be going up against Iced 37, who will be playing probably on Xbox One still. So that'll be fun to watch. There will be a total of 3 matches tomorrow, 2 in a row, and then another one at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to tune in tomorrow and enjoy some more Ori action. But I guess for now, we are done for tonight. Aiko, it was a pleasure to commentate with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, and thank you for watching, everybody.
And of course, shout out to our restreamer for the day, Richard, who managed to bring you through 4 matches, as well as everyone who trucked and commentated today. Thanks a lot. And of course to the racers, including me. GG me.
GG, Villagen.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Come on back for more Ori tomorrow. See ya.
Oh, he's having like an identity crisis. Like I thought this was mine.
Yeah, so here we go against the tree for Stafu, verticality, etc., etc.
Yep.
Successfully made it through the Dorito dungeon, is now up his way through the Cheeto chimney all the way to the top for Sunstone.
It was dangerously cheesy.
Instead of doing double dash, she's actually forcing the frog to come with her throughout the entire way, tricking the frog into shooting upwards towards that one part. This is a little bit difficult because the
Hopefully not have any trouble either with the walk itself or with the death gauntlet. And
That's right.
like
You are just on top of that. I was so ready. I was looking at the other screen, like I'm gonna do the right thing.
nice bit of movement where you just sort of jump around this cliff, and Villagen showing that even for very seasoned runners can be a little difficult. But he nails it 3rd try, and that skips the left half of Grotto, which nobody has ever even seen, so we don't even know.
He's gonna bash the frog over multiple times. As we said, Villagen can do double bashes on controller, but oh no!
Oh no!
I saw exactly what happened there. The frog fired early until
Swamp Entry. This is slightly different. Instead of bringing the frog down with you, you instead allow its shot to arc and then do a series of double bashes. And oh no, she fired it perfectly, but the shots can just sort of sometimes clip through the.
How are you feeling about the tournament so far and how it's going? Just
I'm
generally.
incredibly happy. I mean,
Pick up the orb. Fooligan, what can you tell me about this orb thing?
it's dumb and we hate it and we want to leave it behind. But oh no, SmashyLe taking the death in the spike pit as Sigma was just going back over.
High five on opportunity, unfortunately, but Sigma is going to be picking up the water vein, which will let him get into the Ginsu tree. Ooh, and SmashyLe does get that grotto cycle that we talked about earlier, saving her that 8-second time loss. So that's very.
Escape by Sigma, and oh hey, here's some swag. He's using a grenade bash to grenade jump over here. I believe he told us that saves a grand total of 1. And navigating the big lava pit there without too much fear. Going for the grenade jump. Ah, she bonked the rock there, but otherwise that was a solid grenade jump. And now lining up the grenade jump. And first try, no soft lock. GG.
Very good. Honestly, an incredibly solid performance from both runners, barring a few major mistakes or like